There are fruits that define a region, that carry identity, memory, celebration, and seasonal excitement. For Vietnam, few fruits own that emotional space more powerfully than the mango, locally known as Xoài. This is not just a fruit in Vietnam, it is an ingredient layered into street cuisine, traditional desserts, rituals, trade routes, and modern gastronomy. When we speak about Xoài, we are not merely talking about mangoes in general. We are talking about one of Vietnam's most historically rooted agricultural icons. Vietnam's mango history goes back more than 1,000 years, flourishing especially in the Mekong Delta. The soil composition there holds a mix of sediment from centuries of flooding from the Mekong River system. That mineral-rich sediment is scientifically known to intensify aromatic compounds, which explains why Vietnamese mangoes tend to be sweeter, softer, and more perfume-driven than West Asian cultivars. Vietnam recognizes multiple distinct mango strains, not just mango. Locals differentiate by texture, seed size, sweetness, aroma, and ripening behavior. One of the most iconic forms is Xoài, meaning sand mango, named for its powdered, buttery flesh that melts like custard. There is also Xoài Tuong, a larger, firmer, almost melon-sized mango historically reserved for households and regional trade. When you cut a Vietnamese mango open, one thing is obvious: fragrance. A burst of floral vapor rises from the pulp. Chemically, this comes from volatile compounds that intensify through warm nights and low-acid ripening. Compared to the sharper acidity of Mexican or African mangoes, Xoài leans toward honey sweetness, banana-like creaminess, and a minimal sour tone. Many describe it as what happens if mango, peach, and condensed milk combine. Vietnamese eating culture elevates Xoài into rituals. For example, unripe mango dipped into chili salt seasoning is practically a national rite of passage. Young mango is purposely crunchy and sour, meant to be balanced with salty spicy dip called muoyoti. The flavor arc goes from sour to salty to spicy, then sweetness slowly emerges as the fruit warms inside the mouth. No packaged snack recreates that exact mouth experience. However, when Xoài ripens fully, it stops being a snack and becomes a dessert. It gets incorporated into chai, Vietnamese dessert soups, sticky rice pairings, and coconut cream servings. The classic dish, mango with sticky rice, is often believed to be Thai-specific, but Vietnam has its own long-standing variation using glutinous rice cooked in salt-sweetened coconut milk. Vietnam's agricultural structure also shaped Xoài into an export engine. Districts like Dong Thap, Giang, and Tiên Giang became mango capitals. Unlike other fruit regions that industrialized early, Vietnam kept crossbreeding smaller orchard lines and maintained local orchard families. That approach created diversity rather than monoculture. Something unique about Xoài farming is multi-cycle harvesting. Instead of one defined season, farmers manipulate irrigation, sunlight exposure, and pruning timing to trigger staggered flowering pulses. This lets Vietnam produce mangoes year-round, not at industrial scale, but with continuous regional availability. It also means buyers get peak ripeness produce more frequently rather than bulk shipment once a year. Then comes the interesting point: Xoai's presence in spiritual symbolism. In certain Buddhist rituals, ripe mangoes are placed alongside lotus blossoms and banana offerings. The mango represents softness and abundance, the lotus purity, and banana's continuity of lineage. That symbolic trio appears across temples during festivals. Modern Vietnam reinterprets Xoài not just as tradition but as culinary sophistication. Younger restaurateurs reinterpret mango into gelato layers, brulee caramelized cubes, freeze-dried mango crumble, mango-based ceviche marinades, and alcoholic infusions. Craft gin bars infuse Vietnamese mango skins into botanical concentrates, intensifying floral aromas. Vietnam's global fruit reputation surged recently because consumers learned that Southeast Asian mangoes occupy a unique sensory category: low acidity, clean sweetness, soft flesh, edible aroma. You don't chew Xoài, you press it with your tongue. This softness makes it unsuitable for mass shipping compared to firmer cultivars, yet that fragility is exactly why it is revered locally. Something fragile demands attention. Fruit markets in Ho Chi Minh City display Xoài varieties like luxury items. Mangoes sit individually wrapped, labeled per orchard, priced per cultivar, similar to Japanese melons. When tourists taste Xoài at peak sweetness, their reference frame for what a mango should be shifts. That sensory reset is the real legacy of Xoài. It doesn't just feed you, it redefines your benchmark. After Xoài, supermarket mangoes feel empty. Vietnamese fruit culture is built on direct connection to ripeness. People don't want refrigerated fruit that traveled 2 continents. They want mangoes still holding field warmth, perfumed with sunlight. In that sense, Xoài is a representation of Vietnamese identity: warm, generous, rich, floral, emotionally expressive. To understand Vietnam through flavor, you must taste Xoài during its exact ripeness window. It is summer, it is family, it is street markets buzzing at sunset, it is scooters carrying baskets through alleyways. That is Xoai's truth.